Yo, 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 what is going on, IK Familia? It is your boy, BN, Mr. Kingdom Builder. We are back again for another easy breezy, beautiful cover girl Infinity Kingdom video. Today, we're going to be taking a look at King Arthur's most used ToK skills, again, being an epic wind immortal. Before we start, as usual, make sure you guys sub to the channel, smash that thumbs up, and ring that bell in the notifications so you guys can get updates on any time we post new videos. Okay, here we go. The most used ToK skills. Now, like we talked about for the first two wind elements or wind immortals, keep in mind, right, the first one we did, being Baldwin, didn't have too many. Right, we had about 19 data pools there out of the usual 45 we like to go off of, and then for Hannibal, a little bit more at 30, but now we get to King Arthur at 19 specifically, right, so a smaller pool, but again, I still want to give you guys the data. Remember, like we talked about before for the first two, right, we pulled these from the first 60 servers, right, with players that were at least at 160k troop power or higher, so we could have the information be as accurate and as consistent as possible with players that are already diving deeper into the ToK epic skills, or at least higher on the tree. Okay, now, shows you what we got on the page 1, right, going up to S41. Shockingly, with only 3 servers having 2 or more players that are running King Arthur, with S11 being the most at 3. So interesting there on the data. Now, let's look at the top 4 ToK skills, right, and again, going to be small numbers here. Let's look at number 4, is assist. Being used 5 times. Now let's look at the number 3 most used ToK skill, Lifelink, which is kind of going to be like a universal tie there for the 2. And then we get to number 2, Energy Suppression, which is also used, coincidentally, 5 times. And then we get to the number 1 most used ToK skill for the kind of anticlimactic, drumroll, Shelter, as 6. Again, based on our small pool of data points that we were able to collect. Again, that's why we're seeing some of these smaller numbers there. Now let's go ahead. So this is what we'll do. We'll actually talk about all 4 of the skills just because they are so close. And then let's go ahead and take a look here at King Arthur. So let's look at King Arthur's primary skill. Wind Ruler reduces all damage you receive by 28% up to 35% and has a 60% chance of reflecting 40% of the damage back on the attacker. This does go up to 50%, starting out at 15. Now, again, reduces all damage you receive up to 35%, and you have a 60% chance of reflecting 50% of the damage back. I love the percentage on percentage. Okay, now let's look at his stats. Right, okay, so King Arthur being a little bit more physical, but you can make the argument that he is pretty close with Phys Attack and Magic Attack, but the physical defense is pretty overwhelming. Again, given his strength stat, you can make the argument that King Arthur could be someone in a position like a Charles, like a Gaius, someone that has just a high defense stat, along with their skill usage, that could be really good. Right, if you're looking at, and again, we'll go ahead and take a look at the Tower of Knowledge. And let's go ahead and look, I think it's Lifelink if I remember. Right, yeah, so something like a Lifelink, right, like we were talking about earlier, I think would be great. I don't even know if they have King Arthur recommended on here. They don't, shocking. But I think King Arthur would be another good example. Anyways, let's look at, even though we did talk about Lifelink, excuse me, that was one of the skills that we did have listed. So again, with Lifelink, right, every 6 seconds after the battle starts, you have a 50% chance of creating a Lifelink with 2 enemy units. Those 2 enemy units will share your received damage, right, up to 50% or up to 50% for 6 seconds. So again, running that on, I think King Arthur, based on his skill and his stats, right, play very well into his hands. I actually think it's a great skill for him. Now let's look at assist. Assist is going to be, I have to remember, I think it's the shield here. Every 10 seconds after battle starts, assist 1 random back row allied troop by transferring all of their received damage to you and reduces the damage you receive. So we're getting additional damage reduction on top of King Arthur's current skill. He actually is a recommended immortal here, and I actually think that's a right choice. So again, I like this. Now, let's look at energy suppression, right? Keep in mind with energy suppression, this, in my opinion, is more of a universal skill. It's not necessarily something specific to Arthur, but it could still be used on him like it is for anyone. I think Energy Suppression is just one of those skills that you would run on any of your flex immortals in your lineup. And what I really mean by that is if you've run out of specific skills that you can run for a specific immortal that play to that immortal's strengths, run those, right? And then when you start running out of ToK skills on maybe your third or your fourth immortal, after you've tried to find or play skills that are specific to them, wait until you find an opening slot where you've ran out of using specific ToK skills that play to those strengths for that immortal, and then put in these universal skills, right? And some you might choose just to put a universal skill in over a specific strength-based or advantage-based skill for a particular immortal. Then let's look at Shelter. Shelter, I have to remember, I think it's the ball here. Yes, no, that's Resist. Oh my god. Let's see here. Shelter. Oh, no, I think it's Energy Burst. Oh, God, I'm so shocked that I even have this. Here we go. Shelter. Whew, had to find that at the top. Protect all units on the same side within range with a 50% chance of restoring HP if they sustain damage, right? So this is an aura skill, and again, it's not necessarily a specific immortal skill, but is something similar to to energy suppression, right? That is just a good universal. So I think in regards to these, right, you could run either of these. I like the lifelink. Again, I like the assist because those are two specifics, and then you can kind of flex Shelter or energy suppression for how you see fit, right? Again, keep in mind that, or you can only run one of these, right, per immortal. So that pretty much sums up King Arthur. I'd love to know what you guys think. Again, a very shorter one this time as we're looking to clear out the wind element epic immortals here in our most used series. But let me know, do you guys like these 4 ToK skills? Again, are you someone who's has an up and coming March that you're running wind, but you haven't met that 160k threshold, so that's why we didn't pull data for you, right? Are you using a specific set of ToK skills, right? Do you have a preferred set that you use universally or in specific situations? Let me know anything and everything you guys are thinking in those comments down below. That is it for me with King Arthur. Until we come back, I think we got Kin Emperor and then Saladin left before we move on to our next element. But that is going to be it for me on this short one. We will catch you guys next time. Later.